I'm not taking personal readings at this time. Please do not get scammed by people posing as me in the comments section. Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to my channel, Roseology. So today's reading is all about this eclipse season that we are currently under. So September 17th, we will have a partial lunar eclipse in the sign of Pisces during the full moon in Pisces, and October 2nd, we will be having the solar eclipse in the sign of Libra during the new moon in Libra. And eclipses mark a time where this is all about revelations and old karmic energies being flushed out, new ones coming in. We took a deep 90-minute dive over on Patreon into this Virgo season and what we can expect with this partial lunar eclipse. And it was a pretty intense eclipse because the moon was also conjunct Saturn, which can cause us to deal with or have to process very heavy emotions, even dark emotions. It can cause us to feel emotionally, spiritually drained, fatigued, and especially overstimulated. That not only is this a really intense time, but this is pretty much changing the trajectory of our life and of our path. We also have a grand trine happening during that partial lunar eclipse in Pisces. And that for me told me that there is a major, massive portal opening between the partial lunar eclipse and the solar eclipse. And that is what inspired this reading today, is checking out what this portal, which usually ends up coming to fruition as some sort of like paradigm shift or reality shift or a shift in timelines. I really want to see what that looks like and how that could be changing us. So that's what we're looking into today. We're looking into how this eclipse season is going to have an impact, or how it's going to change us mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, how our quote unquote real lives could end up changing after this eclipse season, or the changes that it could be triggering in our life and on our journey. Okay. So right now, for those of you that may be feeling this eclipse season, if you may be sensitives, you may be empaths, you may be intuitives, healers, psychics, mediums, anything like that. If you guys are particularly sensitive to energy, just know that right now it doesn't mean that necessarily you're going to be going through something heavy or dark or difficult or challenging, but you could still be feeling or channeling those energies that feel a little bit heavier. But let's jump straight to the disclaimers and the meditation. Obviously, this is a general reading, meaning that it is going to resonate with who it is meant to resonate with. Tarot does not control or dictate your life. If you hear something that you do not like or agree with and think that you are just fixed to that reality, then you are not using my readings correctly. I conduct these readings for confirmation, not answers. If you hear something for the first time, please do not take that message without receiving further confirmation from your higher self and spiritual team. Realize that at the end of the day, you have the final say with your destiny. Your free will is your power, and what you choose to do with it will determine your life outcomes, not a pick a card reading on YouTube. So please be responsible and accountable for your own actions, and use this as a guide to help decipher the messages that your spiritual team has been trying to send you all along. If you would like to participate in this meditation, this is a general reading for the collective. So in order for this reading to resonate with you, you need to be synced into the energy of this reading. To help you do that and to help you select a pile with your third eye and not your physical ones, I will be offering a 60-second meditation. Halfway into it, I will be placing crystals for my clairvoyants that like to pick piles with objects on them. And after the clairvoyant pile selection, there will be a clairaudient selection where I play a different tone for each pile, and you can select a pile based off of which tone resonates with you the most. If you are drawn to another pile, that's because there is another message for you in that pile. So if you're ready, get into a relaxed position, become aware of your entire body, starting with your feet, and work that awareness up in sections from the feet to the head. Then take a deep breath in through your nose for around 5 seconds. Hold that breath for 3 seconds, and then exhale for 6 to 7 seconds. Ask your guides, spirit, ancestors, the universe, or all of them to connect you to your higher self so you can receive confirming messages as to the paradigm shift that this eclipse season is going to help you transition to. So this is pile number 1, pile number 2, pile number 3, and pile number 4. On pile 1 is green, gold, citrine. On pile 2, I'm not sure the name of this stone. It looks like pyrite, but this is what we have on pile 2. And pile 3 is hemomorphite. On pile 4 is grape agate. All right, pile 1, welcome to your reading. So we are starting off with your tarot cards. Then I'll be pulling some additional oracle cards to check out what paradigm shift you guys are about to experience during this eclipse season. So starting off with your tarot cards, the very first one that we have here is the 7 of Cups. Then we have the 3 of Swords. And the Empress in reverse. So there's a big emotional shift that's about to happen for you, pile 1. And I keep hearing your spiritual team ask, what are you necessarily like afraid of? Like, it seems like there's like a lot of hesitation or reluctance or fear, or maybe it's like coming out as frustration with this 3 of Swords over here. There's the fear of pain that's stopping you from this Empress in reverse. And this Empress energy is what's coming in for you guys. And what does Empress represent? She is the card of abundance that says, I am so fertile or tapped in that I don't have one want or need. Everything is taken care of or at my disposal. She is the queen of resources pretty much. And she's in your pile, but in reverse, because it's saying that there's a block that's keeping you from fully receiving this energy, from fully receiving her, the Empress. And I wouldn't be shocked if a lot of you have experienced the Empress energy in spurts where she comes in, but kind of sporadically. In reverse, her energy can be a bit unpredictable. Like, for example, this would be someone who's, let's say, like works in sales. Some months they end up killing it and making more money than they need. Other months they are in need because they hardly make any sales. So Empress, she is very consistent and she has the energy of preservation behind her because she's ruled by Venus. So she's very earthy energy. She has an earthy energy behind her. Earth, it just represents something that is solid, something that is tangible, something that's real. in tarot. It's not immaterial, it's not spiritual or energy, like some other cards would be in tarot. But there's a reason that she's the maiden who's also pregnant, because that's this card saying that I am forever in my most abundant, fertile, youthful, beautiful state. Her energy is not meant to wax and wane. It would be too stressful to go from 1 month living in the lap of luxury like her to the next not knowing how you're going to get by. And that might be more stressful than always being in need, almost, because you don't know what to expect. And you guys nervous system has been under stress for too long. Your root chakra, that area has been under stress for too long with the 7 of Cups over here. It's like you don't know what to expect. But 3 of Swords is sort of like holding your breath for disappointment or failure or pain. Also something about like your lymphatic system. I don't know why, but I literally just heard something about your lymphatic system. I don't know, like maybe detoxing. I don't even know what you do with your lymphatic system, but I just heard it. But anyways, besides that, yeah, some of you, it seems like, are too afraid to live outside of this expectation. So it's like maybe you're just expecting disappointment or failure or pain. And wow, I just heard some of you have been too afraid to manifest or even set intentions or pray for better because you are afraid of losing everything. You guys see the 7 of Cups right here? Behind every cup is a different item, as we can see. With every single cup here, there's something different. It's not all good or all bad. Some of you have been unable to see beyond the bad that could happen. You're so focused on that you're missing out on where things could work out in your favor. And that is the paradigm shift for you, pile 1. Stability, security, regularity, but more so a shift in focus as well, where it broadens beyond just the bad or the tragic or the trauma or the misfortune. There's a sense of almost like PTSD here. And I don't know if it's unhealed or hasn't properly been treated by a professional, or maybe you haven't been diagnosed with it. But pile 1, some of you need to admit out loud to someone that can help that you need help, because you're keeping it all in with this 3 of Swords right here. You're trying to manage it all by like suppressing it or containing it. And just like these 3 swords, they're all stabbed into this heart. This can manifest as someone saying, I'm trying to keep this pain inside. I'm trying to keep it contained, and I'm trying to hold it in or suppress it. But again, it is wreaking havoc on your ability to feel safe. And that is directly impacting or blocking your ability to receive this Empress abundant energy in full, where she's consistent. You're able to preserve it. You're able to maintain it. And yes, pile 1, like just like the Empress here, you can have it all. Some of you have said to yourself, there's no use in trying because it'll never happen, or I'm not meant to have this or experience that. It's like I can't have, X, Y, and Z all at the same time. I have to pick and choose. That is scarcity type energy. That is energy that is sporadic or it's deficient. But you guys have the Empress in your spread, and that means that she's literally in the vicinity of your energy. Again, she's just blocked. So it's being blocked by the spirit of fear here, which is a low frequency energy. But this fear for many of you is valid because you have experienced loss. And that is where you may need to reach out for help in dealing with that loss, or you guys may need to reach out for help from your spiritual team to help sort of like process that loss, to kind of flush it out of your energy, flush it out of your system and your subconscious. That's where this lunar eclipse portal and the solar eclipse as well is opening up for you. This is also a door of opportunity opening up to be healed of past pains, maybe even traumas with this 3 of Swords. Also, there's a recurring experience here of dealing with people that don't deserve you with this Empress in reverse. Again, she is ruled by Venus, who in astrology does not just rule love, beauty, and relationships, but she mainly governs value and esteem. She even deals with loyalty in a sense. Different topic for a different day. But in general, she rules value. And this would be the value that we place on everything. Monetary value, self-esteem, how worthy or deserving we are or feel. And even our morality system she deals with when expressed through Libran energy of the sign of Libra. And there's so much that you guys desire and even need, but you struggle to see how you deserve it, especially because too, you've been let down time and time again in the past. Someone may have told you as a child or adult that you don't deserve to be treated or live like the Empress Empress, which has reinforced this blockage in your life. And this eclipse will help you tear down those beliefs. If your spirit is ready, the Empress is ready. But this is about you guys like saying like, I do deserve better. I deserve to live like this. I deserve to go after the things that I want. I deserve to live like an Empress. I deserve to embrace this energy. Whether you are masculine or feminine, however it is that you identify, the Empress energy, she's just an energy. She's the energy of abundance. She's the energy of being taken care of. She's the energy of not having any wants or needs because she is well provided for. It's just a matter of receiving her and allowing her in. And sometimes that can be the trick with the Empress energy, because every single card in tarot, it deals with this dualistic system where basically you can have this, but you almost have to give up that at the same time. There's give and take in everything that we do because energy is finite. There is a top to it or a limit to it. And so, it's sort of like when you want to get in shape, you have to give up certain habits, right? So everything is give and take. Like if you want to be in a committed relationship, you have to give up running the streets or like spinning the block. Just an example, but yeah, so there's like give and take when it comes to everything. And with the Empress, she's no different. In order to receive her energy in full, we have to be willing to give up scarcity and struggle. We have to be willing to part from that expectation. If not, then we can easily block her energy because she is very gentle energy. She is energy that you have to allow in. She's totally in her feminine power. And feminine power you have to allow in. It's not something that you can overpower. It's not something you can force. It's not something you can fake. It's all about just truly embracing her energy. And so this lunar eclipse, solar eclipse, this eclipse season is going to help. It's going to open up a portal for you guys of opportunity where you are able to completely step into that Empress vibrance and that Empress essence. Also, too, there's a shift for sure when it comes to experiencing more security, happiness, joy, peace, essentially in your life with this Three of Swords over here, as well as too, there's a shift with your Seven of Cups over here where you guys may notice that you have more options. There's more variety available to you. There's more abundance, in other words, Empress energy, as we spoke about. Because basically, like I said, it's this blockage that's stopping you. Because the Empress, she is Major Arcana card number 3. So that means she rules the Minor Arcana card 3s as well, which would be, and we have the Three of Swords over here. So these cards are tied in together, sort of saying that one begets the other. This Three of Swords you're experiencing because of this lack of needs or this lack of desires and wants coming to fruition in your life. With this Empress energy in reverse, you're experiencing this pain because of this blockage. And it's sort of like this vicious cycle that is getting, repeated over and over again, or it's getting fed to keep going. And so this eclipse season is also going to help you shift in a way where you're able to kind of break out of that, and you're able to break out of the expectation of disappointment and pain and trauma and difficulty and tragedy and misfortune. You guys are going to help completely break out of that, where you're able to experience a whole new spectrum of emotions with the Seven of Cups over here. Cups represents emotions, emotional reality. And so for you guys, this is like, okay, I'm no longer only accessing the energy and the spirit of pain, but also happiness, also peace, also security, also beauty, also abundance. Okay, so let's start grabbing some oracle cards. Okay, let's see, first card that we get. Okay, we have shine love on fear. Love will light up the darkness. It's really interesting because I think that was one of the first messages that came through for you. Oh, wait, we have another one. But that was one of the first messages that came through I said that your spiritual team was asking, what are you so afraid of, or what are you worried about? So shine love on fear. We also have that turned over, enjoy where you are, for soon you will be somewhere else. There's another card that also flipped over. It says, what does your heart want? Be free to manifest your heart's desires. You guys are manifesting your heart's desires. This is that Seven of Cups. This is that Empress energy. Like I said, she doesn't have any wants or needs. Everything is fulfilled for her. And then we have enjoy where you are, for soon you will be somewhere else. So wherever it is that you guys are currently at, especially if it's a place that you've had difficulty and challenges and obstacles, if you've been feeling restless, if you've been feeling defeated, if you've been feeling this Three of Swords energy, it is going to soon change. And for it to say enjoy where you are, I feel as though that's like spirit or the cosmos basically saying like, whatever's going on in your life right now, kind of take it in a way where maybe like it's a lesson, or take it with a grain of salt, because things are going to change very soon. And shine love on fear. This is basically just confirmation of what we were talking about. Love will light up the darkness. How I was saying earlier, one of the first messages that came through when I was just looking at your tarot cards, that your spiritual team is really wanting to know or understand what it is that you guys are afraid of. What are you so afraid of in terms of things stopping you, or you feeling a sense of reluctance or hesitation? Why are you reluctant or hesitant to move forward, or to step out on faith, or to go after things that you want? And I think that kind of spilled into that message where it's almost like you guys have an expectation of things going wrong. So it's like, why would I even try? Why would I even put the effort into going after things that I want if it's all going to end badly anyways? And so that is where your spiritual team, spirit, the cosmos, God, the Most High, higher self, whatever it is that you want to label it or call it, is helping you guys, is using this eclipse energy to help shine a revelation on that thought process and how it's feeding into certain blockages in your life, to sort of remove that, to evaporate that from your energy, so you guys are able to break out of that and experience different realities outside of what you've always experienced. So let's just say, for instance, you've always struggled financially. This is you guys being broken out of that pattern and getting to a place where now you're able, the reality that's opening up to you is you not having to worry about money, you not having to worry about finances, you having more than enough to pay your bills, go on vacation, do what you want, take care of your family, take care of yourself, invest in your health, whatever it is that you've been kind of holding back on because you haven't had the means to pursue it. All that's taken care of now. That was just an example, but basically that's what's happening underneath the deck here too. What we have for you guys is we have walk your own journey. It is essential to stay on your own path. This is just a journey, you guys. This is just a journey. It's just an experience. It may be difficult. You guys may be going through a lot of difficulties right now with this Three of Swords over here, not really knowing what's going to happen day in, day out with the Seven of Cups and this Empress card in reverse, talking about things being unpredictable. But you guys are going to get to a place where things change for you a lot. Like it says, enjoy where you are, for soon you will be somewhere else. And what does your heart want? That's where you guys are about to end up. You're about to end up where your heart's desire is, where your heart is being drawn to or pulled to. It's just a matter of you guys releasing that fear and saying, like, even though I want this and I'm afraid, like I have expectations that things are going to end badly, I'm still going to go after this because I deserve to. I deserve to experience this in its entirety, and I deserve to experience this peacefully, without worrying that something bad is going to happen, or that things are going to fall apart or fall through, or that I'm going to end up hurt with this Three of Swords. So with this, what does your heart want? This is all about you guys going after your heart's desire and leaving that fear in the past. Okay, so all three of these cards are pretty much tied in together. Okay, let's grab a card here to see what astrological influence is having the most impact on you for this lunar eclipse. We have here the sun that flipped over, spirit. Underneath that, we have Sagittarius, I see. And underneath the deck here, we have Pisces, I believe. And Pisces is where we're having the partial lunar eclipse, because there is a difference between a partial lunar eclipse, a total lunar eclipse, a penumbral lunar eclipse. The lunar eclipses, they kind of wax and wane, just like the moon phases do. And so this one that we just had is a partial lunar eclipse on September 17th. And on October 2nd, I believe, is going to be the annular solar eclipse. But again, we're having this partial lunar eclipse in Pisces. So Pisces being underneath the deck is talking about how this lunar eclipse, this partial lunar eclipse, is going to have a really, really big impact on this energy here that we've been talking about in your reading. But also it says Pisces here, I believe. And I believe this card is directly tied into, what does your heart want? Be free to manifest your heart's desires. Pisces is a dreamer. Pisces does not think anything is out of reach or that anything is impossible, because Pisces is able to see life through like the lens of God pretty much. Pisces is very tapped in spiritually in that sense, where it's able to say like anything can happen. It has this very childlike perspective on life where anything can happen. And so Pisces is a believer. It's a dreamer. It fantasizes about things. It romanticizes life. And as like delusional as some people will consider that, this is why a lot of strange things work out for Pisces in a lot of ways, because Pisces is able to dream and it's able to visualize things. So you guys, this is about tapping into your beliefs. What do you believe? Do not kill your beliefs. Don't be the reason that your beliefs can't thrive and survive. Okay. So make sure that you're not killing your beliefs. Make sure that you are giving yourself enough space to dream. We also have over here Sagittarius, I see. Sagittarius and Pisces, they share a ruling planet, which is Jupiter. Pisces is ruled by Jupiter as well as Neptune. Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. And Jupiter is the planet of expansion. It also deals with abundance, just like the Empress energy over here. But Sagittarius is all about being able to recognize potential. It's all about being able to realize it first in its own mind's eye and its own energy and its own spirit. And it uses its own willpower to go after those things. So Sagittarius is very good at seeing the potential in something. You guys need to be able to see the potential in your own beliefs and in your own dreams. Okay. Don't just look at them. Don't just chalk them up to like, oh, that's, that is a fool's paradise. That is something that'll never happen. You guys need to put more faith behind your dreams, because there is a real reason as to why these dreams are calling out to you. And that is because the universe is trying to help you guys bring them to fruition and manifest them for you. And then with Sun Spirit here, it's important for you guys to realize that one of the reasons that you guys may be dealing with a lot of pain or just feeling really drained is because your spirit is very tied into being a dreamer and a believer. So when you guys' faith is debilitated like that, or it is deflated like that, it directly affects you guys' spirit, your spirit. It directly affects you guys' energy and vitality. It drains you guys. So you guys, you may be a Pisces or a Sagittarius sun, but for you guys, it's like your sun, your spirit, your energy, your vitality, it comes from being a creative, being a dreamer, seeing potential and going after things that aren't there. And you guys are basically like, you're like the people that I call a bridge in life, basically, where you guys are dreamers in the sense that it's like you see something in your mind's eye that doesn't exist, and you guys' willpower brings these things into fruition. So you guys are master manifestors. It's just about kind of getting out of your own way, pile one. Let's see what ways you guys are going to experience a shift. And we have here inspiration, trigger statement, I am tired of it all. True statement, I find strength in my purpose. Please rest and know that in this stillness, you will find clarity around your purpose here. The need to cope will fall away as you find the question that you are the answer to. The need to cope will fall away. This is that 3 of Swords energy. Maybe you guys have been coping through your fantasies, through your dreams, through your visualizations, but not necessarily going after them because you've only seen them as a coping mechanism. When in reality, like the things that you guys fantasize about and dream about, they are coming to you to say, bring me to fruition, manifest me, bring me to life, make me real. You guys' dreams, some of you guys in this pile, you've been using your dreams and your fantasies as a way to cope with life and as a way to cope with 3 of Swords and difficulty and traumas and doubts and fears and challenges. But again, these dreams that you guys have, they are stimulating your third eye. They're coming through your third eye. So these are spiritual downloads that you guys are meant to actually pursue. Okay. So make sure you guys are actually taking these dreams seriously and not just ignoring them and brushing them off and not just using them as a coping mechanism, because there's so much more than that. And then we also have your coriander, honoring the self, trigger statement. This is the way it has always been done. True statement. I create my way. You guys are creatives again. And it says you are ready to fulfill your desires, just like it says. Be free to manifest your heart's desires. What does your heart want? You are ready to fulfill your desires by thinking outside the box. You guys, shine love on fear. Okay. Sagittarius, I see. Pisces, I believe. It says the path less traveled may be more fulfilling. Underneath the deck here, we have Clove Presence. Trigger statement. Why did this happen to me? True statement. How did this happen for me? Know that you are the star of your life, my dear. You are the lead and the audience is here for you. So this card is talking about shifting you guys' perspective to why did this happen to me, to how did this happen for me? And I personally, I like battle with this type of opinion, just because there's certain things that we can't justify that have happened to us in life. And I don't think everything needs to be justified. I don't think that we have to see certain traumas or bad things that have happened to us and be grateful for them. I personally don't believe that. My personal belief is that you allow yourself to see your life through your own lens. Give yourself permission to be grateful for the things that you've gone through or not. Do it unapologetically. So if there's certain things in your life that you're able to sort of flip that perspective and go, you know what, it led me here, so that's fine. I don't regret it, or it's not something that plagues me anymore. It's totally up to you how you guys want to shift your perspective or look at things like that. But I believe this card is more so about not allowing certain things to plague your presence or dampen your presence or weigh it down. Just like we have here Sun Spirit. So this is about you guys' light still shining brightly despite the things that you've gone through. Still giving yourself the permission to say, you know, two things can be true at once. Yes, I can hate that this happened, and I can also still stand in my power, stand in my truth, all at the same time. But again, that is totally going to be up to you guys and however it is that you see your own life. You know, only you can determine that. And just a final card, a runic message we have for you. This rune here underneath the deck, we also have this, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that, but the rune for you is Fehu, I believe. So I'm going to read that out of the book. And this card says the abundant void that nourishes all life. It says symbolism is abundance, just like your Empress card right here. Abundance, luck, circulation of wealth, primordial nourisher. And it says Norwegian rune poem, money causes strife among kin. The wolf grows up in the woods. And it says Fehu is a rune of resource. And while Fehu directly translates to cattle and is often regarded as the rune of wealth, it is beyond our narrow-minded interpretation of wealth. Fehu can be a physical, emotional, spiritual, or energetic resource. This is totally that Empress energy giving you guys a message right now. It says it is the will within us that pushes us forward, the creativity that, this is that Sun Spirit card, the creativity that dreams to be born, this is that Pisces, I believe, and the helpful spirits that join us in nurturing the growth of our worlds. The energy of Fehu is one of motion. In nomadic periods, cattle were the marker of wealth, like cattle being herded, and in motion, Fehu needs to be in motion as well. It's interesting because too, Venus, who rules the Empress card, is associated with cattle or the cow because she rules Taurus, and Taurus's mascot is the bull. But it says, that movement frees up resistance and allows luck to find you and prosperity to grow. So luck is trying to find you and prosperity is trying to grow. Again, this is about clearing up that blockage, you guys. It says, while most people these days would view cows as a source of meat or dairy, Fehu speaks to an era where cattle were meat, milk, butter, cheese, leather, and status. They not only answered immediate survival needs, but also investments that can generate wealth for the future. It is also important to note that Fehu likes to be in balance. The Norwegian rune poem states, money causes strife among kin. The wolf grows up in the woods. For those that hoard and seek to accumulate without discretion or spreading it around, we'll find that issues will always pop up. And pile one, this is all that I'm seeing for you guys. Thank you so very much for tuning in. Let me take this time to thank your guides, my guides, our higher self, and amazing spirit for these messages. You guys take care of yourself. Enjoy this eclipse season, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye. All right, pile two, welcome to your reading. So we are starting off with your tarot cards, and then I'll be pulling some oracle cards to check out what paradigm shift you guys are about to experience during or after this eclipse season. So starting off with your tarot cards, the very first one that we have here is the Eight of Cups. Then we have the Five of Wands. And then the Six of Coins. Okay, so this is really interesting, pile two. Someone may be going through the stages of grief here. It's like you finally can or do feel anger, maybe even rage. And it might sound weird, but for some of you, you actually needed to feel this. Every emotion is divine because it all means something, whether it's like what we would consider a low vibrational emotion or a high vibrational one. They each serve a purpose. They carry information. And now I don't believe this means to always act on it or express it just anywhere and to anyone, because not everyone is a safe space. But this Five of Wands is coming through as like oh my God, I needed that. I needed to feel this. I needed to say that. I needed to get this off of my chest. I needed to let someone know that this is my stance. This is how I feel. This is where I'm at. And there's a few doors that this eclipse is opening for you. First thing coming through is the opportunity to fight back or fight for something, maybe even to stand up for yourself, to advocate for yourself. And so this Five of Wands, it looks like you running into some sort of battle, prepared, armed, and protected. This could even be like a much needed conversation. This is also you guys sort of like realizing how much power you have and knowing that you don't need something or someone. And you can walk away with this Eight of Cups over here and be just fine. And this Eight of Cups may also be the card that, like I was saying, somebody may be going through the stages of grief here. And so you guys may need to express that. And yeah, that's coming through because of this Eight of Cups over here. But there's something doesn't weigh as much anymore. Something doesn't, it's almost too like with this Eight of Cups coming through, some of you guys are just simply indifferent somewhere. We have the Five of Wands as well, but some of you in this pile, I would say a smaller portion of you, you're almost like feeling nothing, feeling indifferent, feeling, I don't even want to say cold, because I feel like even cold is giving it too much. It's giving it too much sauce. I feel like there's a portion of you here that's like, I genuinely don't feel anything. And this may be why some of you guys are, that like, I'm going to be fine. I can walk away and be fine. This isn't something that I need. So you might not be feeling overly attached to something or attached at all, especially emotionally. Emotionally, you guys have already kind of like, that ship has sailed emotionally for some of you here, maybe even a lot of you. But something doesn't have as much weight anymore. It may even be like some of you guys have accepted that the ball's in someone else's court, but you won't deal with a certain type of treatment. Another door is opening up for you where the shift here is acceptance. Whether you guys are feeling indifferent, whether you're feeling enraged, whether you're feeling happy, whether you're feeling relieved, whether you're feeling sad, whatever it is, there's acceptance behind it. And you guys have worked really hard to get to this place of true acceptance with this Eight of Cups over here. You know how, like, you've reached this place when you are emotionally detached from the outcome, and you basically take on a sort of like whatever happens type of attitude. And there's also a shift here in independence with the Six of Pentacles here. Wherever you've been battling yourself, dealing with a lot of internal conflict, maybe even self-sabotage and energetic fatigue is another huge shift for you guys, because very simply this Five of Wands, it represents some sort of a possible blockage. That's why on the RWS version of the Five of Wands, all of those wands, they're clashing together and no one is getting anywhere or getting an actual swing in. It's like throwing a bunch of sticks in a pile and they just get all like bunched up or tangled up. For some of you, this Five of Wands is about like an inner battle, and you may feel like you've been wearing yourself down going through this. You may feel a bit exhausted of dealing with this. Others of you, this is other people that you've been battling with and no one's willing to bend. Everyone has their own perspective. Everyone has their own opinion. Everyone's coming with their own sort of agenda or intentions, and no one's really hearing each other with this Five of Wands over here. But at the same time, I feel like a lot of you in this pile is like, I need to kind of stand my ground with this. Like, it's like weird, but it's like conflict resolution isn't the goal for some of you, and it's a healthy thing. That it sounds so counterintuitive. It sounds like backwards as all hell, but it's like there's something here about, no, I need to stand my ground, whether they get it or not, whether we come to some sort of a resolution or not, whether we end up being all chummy afterwards, that doesn't matter. What matters is if it ends up in some sort of a confrontation or conflict, it's worth it. There we go. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like it's worth it for a lot of you here in this pile. And that's another big shift for you coming through as well. Pile 2 is loyalty. You may have struggled with people being disloyal, breaking promises, having no integrity, treating you in ways that you would not treat them. And because of that, you've had to leave people behind, or they have abandoned you, maybe with this 8 of Cups over here, after they get whatever they came for. And this eclipse has heard your desire, this partial lunar eclipse that we're having on September 17th, and this annular solar eclipse that we're having on October 2nd, I believe. This eclipse has, oh wow, it's my nephew's birthday. I'm just realizing that. Oh my God, his birthday's on an eclipse. That's wild. Anyways, this eclipse has really heard you guys' desire for people that are who they say they are, right? You guys are calling in people that are not selfish. They're not afraid to give with the 6 of Pentacles over here. And they will be loyal to you. They're also going to be transparent about what they want from you, or what they want by being attached to you or connected with you. It's like people won't be hiding their intentions here. And that may have been an issue with this 5 of Wands, is other people hiding their intentions, or you like having to draw the truth out of people, having to almost like, that's a horrible way to describe it, but almost like kind of like beat the truth out of people, like where you're just sort of, having the same argument over and over and over again, hounding someone until the truth comes out, until somebody explodes and then they say what they actually feel, or they say what they actually mean. You guys won't necessarily have to fight for the truth anymore with this 5 of Wands, or you won't have to fight for people's true intentions to come out and for you to see like if someone actually has your back or not. So that's another really big shift for you, is loyalty. There's actual, like, this eclipse is drawing in loyalty. Some of you guys, you may have strong Libra placements, Venus placements. Maybe like your Venus is exalted. Maybe your Venus is in like your 2nd house. Maybe you have some strong 7th house natal placements, or there could be some serious transits going through your 7th house right now. But yeah, there's just this idea of loyalty coming in. Maybe one of these eclipses is happening in your 7th house, 2nd house, something like that. I guess we could say 8th house, but definitely 7th or 2nd. You don't have to have those placements for this reading to apply to you either. It's just what I'm kind of picking up. If I had to guess any placements, I would kind of guess those. Just vibing off your energy here. But yeah, definitely more loyalty coming in. And it's like if this is like a person or a connection coming in, they will be loyal to you in the way where like they really have your back with this 5 of Wands. They will stand 10 toes down for you. They will fight for you. They will side for you. And not in a way where like they're serving you like blindly or anything like that, or like mindlessly, but just, it's like that is they care for you so much that they'll show up for you, in other words. And so there's distance between you and whoever or whatever was leeching off of your energy before. And you guys are able to connect to whole different energies and people because of that, because you guys kind of took that distance from someone or something that wasn't serving you, or was just there for the wrong reasons and the wrong intentions with this 5 of Wands. That may be why this 5 of Wands, it feels so, I don't want to call it positive, but it definitely feels progressive. Like, okay, like I'm getting somewhere. Like maybe I didn't like that person's truth. Maybe I didn't like the side of them that I saw, but at least now I know what I'm dealing with, sort of like that. It's kind of like progress in that sense. And so, sometimes we have to separate from what's not meant for us before we can align with what is meant for us. And yes, you guys do have the 8 of Cups here. So that kind of makes sense with you guys sort of walking away or putting some distance between you and what isn't serving you. So, 8 of Cups, this is the card of making the best choice for yourself, despite your own desires and attachments. It's like, that doesn't matter. Like you're willing to take that emotional hit to stay away from things that aren't meant for you. Because when we stubbornly stay attached to things that aren't meant to us, they become baggage, and they start to weigh us down, and they start to anchor us and keep us in a place where we're absolutely not happy. And then it's like we're almost like emotionally just tormented being in that place, and feeling like we can't get away from it or get out of it or break away from it. So, it's sort of that energy can kind of feed on itself. And so for you guys, you put your emotional health first, and you put what you needed to do first. And so it's like, instead of you guys doing what you want to do, you did what you needed to do, pile 2. And whether you walked away or someone walked away from you, you honored that. You stayed away, and this has brought upon this shift. This has really opened this door for you during this eclipse season, or after this eclipse season and beyond, where for you guys, it's like now you're drawing in energy and attracting energy that is very transparent. It's very honest. What you see is what you get, pretty much. It's very like surface level in that way. So let's start grabbing some oracle cards for you guys. Let's just see what we've got going on. Okay, so let's see what we've got going on for you, pile 2. Okay. Well, this is a few cards that came out. We have here, following the path of another, your path is being redirected to where it should be. This is sort of like what I was talking about here with you guys in terms of, okay, sorry, you guys, I had a phone call come in, but with following the path of another, your path is being redirected to where it should be. This redirection is totally this 8 of Cups over here. It's sort of like I'm placing these cups down. I'm stepping away from what isn't meant for me. Like we were just talking about when I was looking at you guys' tarot cards here, is like whatever isn't serving you, you guys have sort of like left that. You've left that behind, and you're moving on from that. And because of that, you guys are aligning with the people, things, places, experiences that are meant to be in your life. And they're meant to be in your life in a way where it's peaceful. You don't have to fight for it, and you don't have to fight it with this 5 of Wands. You guys may have gotten used to having to fight for people's loyalty, or fight for people's honesty, fight for people's truth. And you guys may have gotten used to the fight with this 5 of Wands here. And so this is why this following the path of another, your path is being redirected to where it should be. And it's really interesting because this looks like a solar eclipse on the front of this card, where the sun is eclipsed by the moon itself. So for me, if this is depicting a solar eclipse, for you guys around October 2nd, there's going to be some sort of energy is going to sort of like climax around that time for a lot of you in this pile 2. So watch out for October 2nd. If it feels right for you intuitively and spiritually, if you feel like you should set intentions or manifest around that time, then do it. Most people will say, do not manifest during a eclipse. I have never listened to that advice, because I don't believe, especially when it comes to spiritual advice, that one size fits all. But again, do what intuitively feels right for you. But if you guys want to, especially if you guys want to purge or cleanse something from your life, like let's say, for instance, you guys are ready to walk away from something. We have the 8 of Cups here. Then that would be a really good time during that eclipse to sort of set intentions for some sort of energy to leave your life. Maybe the energy or the spirit of having to fight for things, or having to fight in your relationships. If that's just something that's been exhausting you and draining you, then that's something that you could totally set intentions for, again, if it feels right for you intuitively. If not, if you're like, nope, doesn't feel right for me, then absolutely do not do it. Listen to yourself first and foremost when it comes to spiritual advice and counsel, okay? And then we also have here the card that came out, no longer holds power over you. Dissolve attachments of the past with love. I need to make sure that you guys can see this. This is crazy because I think I said something along the lines of, not it doesn't hold power over you, but something doesn't weigh as much in your life anymore. Like it's not, or maybe for some of you that could be, I did say that. Some of you may be feeling indifferent, like you feel nothing, you feel numb, you feel nothing at all. Something is like you just sort of like release something and it has absolutely no effect on you anymore. This is total confirmation of that message when I was just looking at you guys' tarot cards and we talked about something not weighing as much in your life anymore. Something is going to definitely lose its influence in your life around this eclipse season. That is the paradigm shift for you, where it's like, this doesn't matter. Again, Eight of Cups, okay? The Eight of Cups, he gets to a place where he's like, I don't need this anymore. I'm walking away from this, even if I desire it, even if I want it, even if it's going to hurt for me to leave this in the past. Like I said, with this Eight of Cups, some of you guys, you may be going through the stages of grief, and the fact that it's like you're grieving something and you can still walk away from it, that is the epitome of power and personal authority and emotional power, where it's like, I feel this, it hurts, and I still am going to detach from it because that is what is best for me. To be able to put your needs, to be able to prioritize your needs and what's best for you over what you want and what you emotionally desire or what you're used to doing or whatever your cycles are in life, that is a different level of power. And authority. And I feel as though this eclipse, that is one of the paradigm shifts for you. A huge paradigm shift for you guys is something no longer holding power over you anymore. Eight of Cups, Five of Wands. This may be why some of you are able to stand up and fight, advocate for yourself, say what it is that you need to say, champion yourself, whatever, however it is that looks like. Or this could be you guys absolutely feeling nothing. That could be another way that you guys are fighting back with this Five of Wands, is by not fighting back, by not engaging at all. So however it is that it looks for you guys, it's going to look different for each and every one of you, given that this is like a general reading. It's not going to hold power over you guys anymore. You guys are dissolving attachments. We were talking about attachments with this Eight of Cups over here. So yeah, dissolving attachments of the past with love. You guys are releasing something and letting something go with love. And then this card over here says, explore, love, create. The only thing that holds you back is you. And I think you guys are sort of realizing that in a sense, or realizing that in a way. You guys may have also been attracted to a different pile one, where that message kind of came up. Some of you guys, you may have come from pile one. Maybe you were listening to pile one and this pile is just playing out now. But yeah, the only thing that holds you back is you. So this is you guys sort of realizing that again, I have all the power in my hands to dictate and decide what has influence over me, what holds power over me, what controls me, or if I control it and control myself. And so for you guys, like, again, this is something no longer holding power over you anymore. This is just you guys completely stepping into your own personal authority. Underneath the deck here, we have see with your heart. The time is now to hear the messages. So there's messages coming through for you guys. I'm going to leave this one out since it's underneath the deck. I'm going to put this one back in the deck since it flipped out face down. But I did just want to show you guys that too. So yeah, but for you guys with this see with your heart card over here, the time is now to hear the messages. There's going to be a lot of messages coming in around this eclipse season for you guys. It could be around this annular eclipse with this, or the solar eclipse right here with this looking like an actual solar eclipse on the card. There could be a lot of messages coming through, especially if it has to do with you guys's anything that has felt draining. If there's anything that's felt draining, you guys may have a lot of downloads, spiritual downloads and information coming through, intuitive information coming through about that particular situation and how you need to handle it and how you need to move forward. Okay. And so there's going to be a lot of guidance, spiritual guidance coming in with any sort of situation that has been draining you, that you guys have felt like you needed to fight or needed to, you know, speak up and say something, stand up for yourself in some way, shape, or form. You guys are going to get a lot of spiritual guidance with that. So make sure that you guys are paying attention to any sort of messages that try to download to you guys around either of these eclipses, either the partial lunar eclipse that we had on September 17th or the solar eclipse on October 2nd. And there is a difference between and downloads that come through either the lunar moon energy subconscious side or the solar sun conscious side. Those downloads will come through differently. When we receive downloads through our lunar subconscious moon energy, information can come through in a very high priestess sort of way where it's kind of cryptic. It's sort of like the information can come through very gently, very quietly. It can feel like a gut feeling or an instinct or a memory. The information will sort of settle in where it's almost like you can listen to it or not, you can accept it or not. When we receive intuitive energy downloads or information through like our solar sun energy. Those downloads can come through in a way where we feel it through the ego, or we experience it through the ego, where that information comes through and we feel like we need to act on it, or we feel like we need to do something about it. Moon energy is always going to be more gentle. It's always going to come through in a more feminine way, which means it's going to come through in a passive way where you can do something about it or not, versus that solar way, it's going to come through in a active way where, again, it's going to feel like I need to do something about this, or kind of like almost like fight or flight. Pay attention to those strong feelings that you get, or those gut feelings that you get. Okay. Because like I said, there is a little bit of a difference. You know, energy is just information, and it can come through in several different ways. Pay attention to your dreams. That would be more of your moon energy. Okay, so we have here second house owning. That's interesting because I did mention that some of you guys, you could have something moving through your second house or your seventh house. I mentioned that with the eclipse could be happening in you guys' second house, or maybe you guys could have some strong transits moving through there. And underneath the deck here, we have first house, the body. Also, what flipped out, we have moon, soul. Okay, so the moon, the lunar eclipse as well was also both of these eclipses are going to be a time for you, because we actually have, like, again, the solar eclipse right here, and then we have the moon. With moon, soul, this is talking about you guys feeling something very, very deeply. 8 of Cups, period. This is just confirmation of your 8 of Cups energy over here. When we have an eclipse, a lunar eclipse, that means that the earth, which represents the tangible reality or the tangible physical material plane in astrology, when it eclipses the moon, or its shadow covers a part of the moon, since it's a partial lunar eclipse, that means that earth energy, our real, tangible, literal life, can have some sort of a impact on our spirit or on our soul. So basically, this is like real life imprinting on our spirit or on our soul. For moon soul to show up, this is very, for those of you on Patreon watching this reading, if you were drawn to pile 2, you're going to know exactly what I was talking about with this moon soul card right here. These eclipses, maybe even the lunar eclipse, has had a deep impact on your soul. You guys may have felt that lunar eclipse very deeply. And during that partial lunar eclipse, the moon was conjunct Saturn retrograde. Anytime moon conjunct Saturn in astrology, I always say it's not for the faint of heart. That can have a very real impact on somebody when moon conjunct Saturn in astrology. Saturn is the planet of karma, consequences, pain, challenges. Saturn has the ability to impact us so much that it literally changes us. It changes us physically. We actually mature. We actually gain wisdom after dealing with Saturn, because it's such a painful planet, and pain is an extremely potent teacher. So, with this moon soul card right here, you guys are feeling something very deeply, 8 of Cups. And like I said, the fact that you guys can feel something deeply, you may also be going through the stages of grief with moon soul right here. Either which way, you guys are feeling something in your soul. And the fact that you guys can still put your needs above what you're feeling, again, is just talking about that personal power. So this is you guys' soul being extremely strong and very powerful in knowing this is what needs to be done. This is how I need to look out for myself. This no longer holds power over me, like this card says right here, or your path is being redirected to where it needs to be. Seeing with your heart. This is you guys being able to see into the truth of the matter. We're dealing with the moon soul. We're dealing with the truth of something. This is something where none of the layers are there. The moon is the most vulnerable aspect in astrology, or it's the most vulnerable object in astrology. So this is you guys being vulnerable, 8 of Cups here. You're being vulnerable, and or you're making someone else vulnerable. You're making a situation vulnerable, and you're seeing their truth. You're seeing straight through them. There's no facades here. There's no layers here. There's no ego here. You guys are seeing straight through everything. And because of that, you guys know exactly what needs to be done. We also have the second house owning and first house, the body. Again, with second house owning, this is like you guys saying, I own me. I control me. I'm stepping into my personal power. And also too, expect another huge shift when it comes to you guys' second house. Okay, so second house, it rules value, and that can talk about like self-esteem. It can talk about monetary value. It can talk about finances. This is how we procure and produce things, how we produce money, how we earn money, how we earn a living. And it also talks about the things that we own. And so when it comes to the second house, it's a very material house. That says like, because I own this, it has a direct impact on my self-esteem over here or my self-worth over here. So those things are very intertwined and pretty much interchangeable when it comes to the second house owning. So for you guys though, there's a huge shift with your second house. So this could be when it comes to you guys' self-esteem, your self-worth, knowing when you need to walk away, putting yourself first. 8 of Cups over here, knowing that I need to walk away because my self-esteem is that high. My self-respect is that intact that I know I need to walk away from this situation. Or this could be talking about a huge shift when it comes to your literal finances and your literal money, you guys, and you seeing a really big change in you guys' income, or maybe with your career, your profession. That would be more so like 10th house. But again, second house is how we earn money, how we earn income, how we earn assets, or how we end up obtaining those assets, and how we produce things in our physical reality. So expect to see a big shift with that over there as well. And then also too, with first house, the body, there could be a really big change when it comes to your literal body. First house, it deals with identity, how we identify with things. And so when it comes to the first house, we sort of attach this like, we attach ourselves to things with the first house. We sort of put like a label on things and say like, this is mine, or I see myself in this. So when we're dealing with the first house, we're dealing with the I am aspect. And so with the body over here, you guys could actually see some sort of change in your body around this eclipse or after this eclipse. So if you guys have been like working on yourself, working on your image or anything like that, expect to see some sort of progress or some sort of shift when it comes to your body and when it comes to how you guys sort of identify. So you guys is like own self-image may start to change and transform in ways where you're seeing yourself differently. Maybe you're starting to see yourself as someone that stands up for yourself or speaks up for yourself or fights for what is important. Maybe you're starting to see yourself as somebody that is emotionally powerful and emotionally strong, and somebody that is strong-willed and says like, just because I love something doesn't mean that I cannot let it go. So this is also, these eclipses are also having a really big change in how you see yourself as well. And that's having actually directly connected to the way that you guys earn things in this life as well. So there's just big changes with that all around. And you guys' lunar energy is doing something pretty incredible as well. You guys are having really, really deep changes on a soul subconscious level. There could even be something here happening with somebody's mom or mother figure with the moon here. Moon does rule the mom, it rules the mother. And moon is a very, very feminine energy, beautiful feminine energy. So spend some time with the moon, connecting with the moon. A chunk of cards fell out. The card that came out upright or face up, we have Rosemary, wisdom, trigger statement. It doesn't make sense. True statement. I see the bigger picture. You are moving towards a deeper level of understanding. This is that moon soul. And see with your heart, it says from knowledge to wisdom, take time to absorb the lesson. So you guys have been going through some sort of a lesson. Like I said, there could be some stages of grief that you guys are working through right now with your eight of cups and your 6 of wands, or your 5 of wands right here. And even the 6 of pentacles can kind of talk about something being given to you, being gifted to you that is actually worth a lot. Maybe it's not worth something like actual like money. Maybe it's worth something more so in like your soul needed this, or you needed this experience in some way, because it's going to end up improving your self-image, the way that you deal with yourself, the way that you see yourself. And I feel as though you guys is like, you're going to just see yourself very differently. You're going to be getting a lot of wisdom from this eclipse, or the paradigm shift that it sort of sends you on. You guys are going to be gaining a lot of wisdom from this situation, and especially from anything that you're moving on from. This 8 of cups is you guys like really, really like standing in your power, like basically like do not play around with pile 2. Then we have here soothing came out for you guys. Soothe, trigger statement, I need to fix this. True statement, I'm willing to learn from this. Again, so this is kind of like a lesson coming through. It says lift yourself above your life situation and observe as a witness. Understand that you are so much more than the story. What I'm getting from this card is like in the future, you guys are going to be able to look back on this and see it almost as like a story or like a chapter in your life where it's like, yes, this happened, but I also gained this from it, or I also learned that from it. So for you guys, this is actually going to end up soothing you in a way. In the future, it'll end up soothing you guys. And it could be because too, there's this, more loyalty coming into you guys' life. Like I said, that's another shift coming in for you guys, is like more loyalty. Like it says, your path is being redirected to where it should be. You guys are being redirected to people, places, and experiences that actually deserve you and will treat you in a way where you've always treated other people in other situations. And underneath the deck here, we have Melissa, purpose, trigger statement. What is the point of it all? True statement, I am special. You have a unique place in this world with gifts and talents that only you can provide. Use your connection with the divine to share them. So this is even a gift, you guys. So there's some sort of purpose in all of this. In other words, there's a purpose in all of this. You guys may even look back on this time in your life and you may see it as such a pivotal moment that you're able to connect with other people or maybe even help other people through a similar situation like this. But this is not for nothing. Okay. What you guys are going through right now or around this eclipse time and the way that this is going to shift your life is going to shift your life in a way where it feels purposeful. It's going to feel like you actually gained something with the second house owning over here. That could be another thing that the second house card is talking about. It's going to feel like you guys actually gained something. You may feel like you lost something having to walk away with this 8 of Cups. Eventually in the future, you're going to feel like you gain so much more. And think about what happens with the 8 of Cups. What card does it end up becoming or progressing to? The 9 of Cups. And so that's what's happening with you guys, is like you're going to end up gaining way more than you've ever walked away from. In other words, pile 2. And then let's just grab a final message for you guys. What is this? A rune? Yeah. Underneath the deck, I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm not going to try. But we also have, this is the rune that came out for you guys. And so I'm going to read this out of the book. Okay, and this rune is pronounced Manaz, and it means mankind, and it says, we each have a duty to those that come after. Symbolism is endurance, human spirit, potential, resilience, and duty. Again, like I said, you guys are like just emotionally strong and powerful. And it says, upright amidst the great cosmos, the constant thrum of life in infinite forms are us humans. And according to the ancient Norse, our role in this web is not by accident. We play a pivotal role and we each have a unique fate. At the heart of this rune, we are all the things that make humankind so special. Our deep ability to feel, to engineer, to grow and change, to share and celebrate, to imagine and to love. Our great potential lies within this rune. It also captures the complexity of the human spirit, how we are all imperfect and always will be, and yet we keep trying. There's an incredible resilience in each of us. This is your 8 of Cups and 5 of Wands for sure. It says, and your ability to kind of like come back from that situation and still be giving with the 6 of coins here, still be giving, still be objective, still be fair. And it says, when I think of Manaz, it feels like an invitation to keep going despite the thoughts in our heads that tell us we can't. We are here for a short time collectively carrying this baton of humanity. How are we supporting it? How are we pushing life forward? This rune can be about the individual and what we can accomplish, but it's also much larger than that. It is recognizing that we are a single link within an infinite chain. It takes us out of the ego space of feeling fearful, of putting ourselves out there and being afraid of what may or may not happen, our fears of failure or success, and asks us to think of our duty to our fellow humans in the future that will come after us, having a sense of responsibility to this larger web, and being in devotion to that can often allow us to move through those fears. You guys will be moving through these fears, these difficulties, these challenges, these hardships, whatever may be going on for you guys. But there is a deep soul transformation happening for you guys with this eclipse season. This paradigm shift is not just going to be a change in your reality or in your timeline, for instance, but something about your soul is going to change. Again, like I was talking about this partial lunar eclipse, this is like real life imprinting or having a deep impact on our spirit. So this is like going through, I kept referring to it as like a spiritual surgery over on Patreon. So for you guys are really going through some sort of like a spiritual surgery or some sort of like soul transformation. And it's deep. You guys are feeling it deeply with this Eight of Cups over here, especially. And this is why there's going to be so much power that you guys come into. And this is also why as well, you know, the universe doesn't take without replenishing and replacing. So for you guys, whatever it is that you have lost or walked away from or are grieving, there will be even more coming into your life to not necessarily replace it, because things can't be replaced. That's how special life is. But there will be things that you're able to kind of like look back on and go, oh my gosh, like I ended up with this, or the universe plans on blessing you guys in that way. Six of Coins over here, Six of Pentacles. Okay, so this is all that I'm seeing for you guys, pile 2. Thank you so very much for tuning in. Let me take this time to thank your guides, my guides, our higher self, and amazing spirit for these messages. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye. All right, pile 3, welcome to your reading. So we are starting off with your tarot cards. Then I'll be pulling some oracle cards to check out what paradigm shift you guys are about to undergo or experience this eclipse season or after eclipse season. So getting started with your tarot cards, the very first one that we have is the Hermit. Then we have the Hierophant. And then we have Strength. Okay, if you are intuitively drawn to this pile and have been on some sort of like journey trying to find yourself, maybe exploring different religions or spirituality, you guys are about to shift out of a traditional belief system, I guess you could call it. You may be exploring or about to leave religion or even spirituality or some sort of like communal worship. Some of you are or have recently broken away from your family, and you may have gone no contact or just maybe moved away. There's some distance here though, because between the Hermit and the Hierophant, this is clearly saying that you were shedding, with the Hermit right here, tradition, which is the Hierophant. And Hierophant is a way of living that you didn't necessarily consent to, but it's like a culture or maybe even beliefs that got passed down. It's like how you guys were raised, and it can manifest as being conditioned or programmed, almost groomed when we're dealing with the Hierophant in ways. And if you resonate with that, just know that you are shifting outside of that. You're breaking away and leaving a lot of that or all of it behind. And it will be, or it has been difficult with the Strength here. You may go back and forth between what it feels like your spirit is being pulled towards versus what you have been taught and how you have been raised. But the big shift here is you guys being bold and courageous with Strength to do what feels right for you, whether others agree or not. And it's difficult when you've been indoctrinated in certain ways, but you guys' purpose with the Hermit over here, your purpose and your spirit is too strong for you to stay complacent. And you see how her hands are opening the lion's mouth in Strength. This is to say that she is in control of this, of if this lion like bites or not. Slightly different take on like the RWS traditional Strength card, which is more about collaboration in a sense. But this Strength card, it says, or it really feels, I think it just kind of feels, because it looks that way to me. It feels as though it's like, it's saying I'm operating in the lion's den. I'm dealing with the most dangerous part of this predator here, which is the lion's mouth. I have my hands in its mouth and I have no fear. She knows that this lion will not hurt her, or she's trusting in that sense. And that's where that collaborative sort of effort comes in, is like in that trust. Like, I'm trusting that you're not going to bite my hand off, because you have that power to. And she still has no fear. That is essentially you guys with this problem or challenge. You will be confronting your biggest opposition soon. With this eclipse season happening here between September 17th with the partial lunar eclipse and the solar annular eclipse in Libra on October 2nd, either between those eclipses or soon after, you guys will be confronting whatever your biggest op in life is, right? And you will handle it with such confidence that you come out of it untouched. And I really love to see this, or more so feel this, but some of you guys are empaths as well, healers, maybe occultists, astrologers, maybe you work in that divinatory self-help realm. If those are your natural gifts, that's about to shift into a profession. Some of you too, you work with the body, because I literally just saw somebody here working with the body. I don't know if like you're maybe a personal trainer, or maybe like a nutritionist. Maybe you do something with Reiki. Maybe you do palm readings. It's something with the body here though. Maybe you're actually like some sort of a doctor or something, but yeah, for those of you, if like that's your realm, if those are your natural gifts, that's about to shift into a real actual profession where you are like making money from it. It's a real business. You got to pay taxes on it. It's like a actual business here. For those of you that are interested in that, it's about to make that transition. And I don't know who's graduating soon, but congratulations as well. And I can feel how hard you guys have worked for this paradigm shift here, how long you've had to wait, how many times you've repeatedly had to fall back and rely on the growth. You've had to practice what you preach a lot lately. You guys have gone through a lot of trials, and this is all major arcana cards that we have here. Your 3 cards, they're all major arcana. And this is like seeing a stellium pretty much, or a bunch of outer planets group up in one area of the chart. In other words, the energy in your pile is using an exclamation mark and it's standing on business, okay? But majority of the work that you have had to do, it might not have been physical as much as it's been mental, or maybe the mental load has been more challenging for you guys. And this is all willpower. The shift for you is basically payoff. It's success and not having to make as many sacrifices. And Hermit, we leave behind comfort. Hierophant is the card of duty and service, doing things not for personal gain, but for a higher or bigger mission. And Strength is the card of facing your fears and taking risks. So you guys have been, Strength is like the card where it's like, we go into a collaboration with our greatest fear or our greatest risk. And it's a gamble. It's a huge gamble. Again, she's got her hand in the lion's mouth, or near the lion's mouth. That's a big ass gamble. He could just bite her hand off, where it's gone, it's out of here, there's no getting it back. So this is like taking a really big gamble. This is like sleeping on a cliff, you know. It's like you're really taking a risk. You're pushing the limits here. You're pushing your own limits, and you guys may be doing that because you feel as though you need to be pushed out of your comfort zone, or you're trying to edge out of your comfort zone. You're trying to put yourself in situations where maybe you're afraid. Maybe that sounds a little bit bad, but it's like you guys, you almost want to feel that rush or that excitement of like, I'm doing something that is challenging, or I'm doing something that is scary to me, or I'm doing something that is risky. You know, like I'm going for it. You know, I'm going to make something of my life. I'm not going to be complacent. I'm not going to sit back. I'm not going to be idle and just watch these things pass me by. I'm actually going to take advantage of life and go after certain opportunities, even if it seems risky, or even if there's a chance or possibility of things not working out. You guys are like, with all 3 of your cards here being major arcana, this is you guys basically saying like, I am up for the task. I'm up for the challenge. So you guys have been taking risks while operating outside of your comfort zone. And you're not doing this just for you, but the future, because it's really, really easy to step outside of our comfort zone and create or find or discover a new comfort, because it's so uncomfortable operating outside of that comfort zone for a lot of people. And so it's easy to just find something else to kind of attach to or stick to, or pair up with. And a lot of you, you're not doing this just for you, but for the future. And just from these cards alone, I can tell that you guys made certain moves not knowing if it would pay off, and having nothing to fall back on if things don't work. But the universe loves risk takers. It loves dreamers and bold souls. Anytime you gamble with comfort, it usually ends with growth. And this is why our soul came here to this planet and to this human incarnation. At least that's what I truly personally believe, is that our soul came here to gamble with life, to take risks, to grow and evolve. And you don't evolve and you don't grow while staying in your comfort zone, or while staying complacent and staying somewhere that feels safe. That's how you get in a rut. That is more South Node energy, where it feels familiar, it's easy to do, but it doesn't feel good at the same time. And so when we're dealing with like that North Node energy, I'm pushing forward no matter what. It never feels comfortable. Typically, we don't know how to do the North Node like we do the South Node. South Node is where we come from. North Node is where we're going. And so it's like when you leave your hometown and you go to some country you've never been to, you have no clue what you're in for. Everything is brand new. There is no comfort zone yet. So that's kind of like what you guys are doing. And this shift here for you guys, because of this shift here for you is this season of difficulty or struggle. It's going to be passing. And it's hard to even call it like difficulty. It's hard to even call it struggle. Maybe it is actually literally that for some of you, but it's more so like you guys trying to put yourself in a position where it's almost like that saying, the bigger the risk, the bigger the reward. It's kind of like that. So this is more so you guys like your risk is paying off. That's a paradigm shift for you. There we go. That's what I'm trying to say. You will start to see things come together in your favor. Wherever you guys took a risk and didn't settle, you will receive the reward. Wherever you've been working overtime, it won't be so demanding anymore. And this paradigm shift is more energetic or spiritual for you guys. Those of you that have been in prayer or trying to manifest or going to your altar with this Hierophant card, you will experience a shift in terms of how much quicker things manifest for you. And I keep hearing health as well. So there could be a paradigm shift in terms of health. And maybe it means that you actually overcome some sort of ailment or illness, or it could be like a chronic illness, or, you know, some sort of something going on with the body. Yeah, I did mention that. I saw something with the body. And I find it interesting too that they have Wazir, or otherwise known as Osiris, on the Hierophant card. He was the ancient Cometian spirit or neter of death and fertility. And each one of these spirits, or the neteru, they represented some dualistic force or system. And Osiris Wazir, he became lord of the underworld after his brother Set betrayed and killed him. And by becoming the overseer of the afterlife, he became synonymous with life itself, ironically enough. And for him to be present on your Hierophant card here, the card of duty, worship, glorification, and tradition, it tells me many of you have devoted yourselves to becoming a better, higher version of you with this combination of cards. You don't care what you have to sacrifice or give up with this Hermit card over here. You're committed and only focused on overcoming your own demons. Climbing mountains, it's risky. It's dangerous. You know, it's like the further you are from the ground, the higher and the harder the fall, right? So everything here in your pile, it keeps talking about taking a risk. It keeps talking about, sure, the higher up I climb, the harder I could fall, but that's a risk I'm willing to take. That's going to be a huge payoff for you guys, because the universe is very appreciative that you guys are in that mindset where it's like, I'm willing to gamble with this. I'm willing to go for it. And you guys are committed and only focused on overcoming your own demons and your own fears and your own doubts. You're only focused on overcoming you. A lot of you have or are about to make the shift where you realize your biggest obstacle is yourself, and the only one that you've ever been competing with is you. And your shift is a revelation about your own journey, and it's going to feel like the weight of the world is instantly lifted from your shoulders just before this realization sets in that, oh my God, I'm in full control of sinking or swimming now. So again, I kind of mentioned this in the beginning, but it more so has to do with the spiritual business for some of you here. Even outside of that, you guys are about to shift into more independence where other people have way less influence on your success or life or journey as a whole. For example, let's say like you started a business that was like a lifelong dream of yours, but you got a business partner to help you with the expenses. And although they help financially, they are holding you back creatively, or their vision just doesn't align with yours. Just an example, but this is you guys shifting into a place where you can separate from that business partner. So you only have to consult yourself. You only have to worry about yourself, and you are 1000% the only one in control. All major arcana cards here, and the ones that show up are talking about you guys definitely being independent or making some sort of independent move. I kind of just want to grab a hustle card just to see what we get. because I feel like you guys have been really working hard. So let's see if we get some sort of a message about that. It says, keep hustling, don't give up, came out face up. And then we also have use your skills to create. And underneath the deck, we have stolen ideas. Be careful who you trust. You guys, be careful who you trust. I did say something about you guys going independent and not working with someone, or I think that was an example that I used. Yeah, not working with, I literally just said it and I don't remember. Mom brain. Anyways, yeah, stolen ideas. Be careful who you trust. You guys, be really careful with who you trust, especially for those of you about to go into business, because you guys you're very skilled, especially when it comes to your creative side. What would that be? Your left brain or your right brain? I think that's right brain, right? You guys are very, very creative, especially in terms of like creating or starting some sort of a business that's innovative. It's new, it's fun, it's different. And maybe you guys have a different take. Maybe you guys have a different perspective. Maybe you guys have a different approach in whatever industry it is that you work in, whether it's in the healing arts or something completely different. You guys have really strong creative skills. So be careful with who you trust with the stolen ideas card down here. Because this card is talking about creativity and skills, and this card is talking about stolen ideas. So you guys may be telling someone something because you're so excited, like, oh, I have an idea to do this. Be really, really careful here. Like I said, your tarot cards keep talking about independence. So this is you guys kind of moving alone when it comes to whatever it is that you're hustling and working for. Keep hustling. Don't give up. Okay. You guys are on the right track. Keep hustling. Do not give up. This is that strength card right here. Hermit card. Don't give up. You guys are on the right track. Okay. Let's see what other messages we get for you guys. We have here, time to move on, flow with the river, see where it takes you. So it's time for you guys to move on somewhere. I don't know. Let me see what's underneath the deck. It says, all is at your fingertips. What has been created by one can be had by all. All is at your fingertips. What has been created. This is talking about your creativity or your ability to create, like this use your skills to create card up here. Some of you guys are going into business. You are in business for yourself. Maybe you're just a creative, but what has been created by one can be had by all. You guys, something that you're creating is about to blow up. It says what has been created by one can be had by all. All is at your fingertips. You guys have everything at your fingertips, but I feel as though you guys know this with this being 3 major arcana cards down here. There's a big shift in terms of you guys' ability to reach other people with whether you're in the healing arts or something different, whatever it is that you are gifted in, whatever it is that your skill set is. It's about to reach a big volume of people. And this is also why I think that message came out for you guys to be careful about who you trust. Okay, because there's some sort of idea that you guys have or some sort of skill that you guys have and you do it different. You're going to want to be careful about who sees that before you're officially in business for yourself or before you officially put something out there and debut it. You're going to want to make sure you're careful about who you tell. And so with time to move on, flow with the river and see where it takes you. It's time for you guys to kind of flow with the river, see where it takes you. It's time for you guys to flow with life, to flow with these changes, to move these changes, to evolve and see where you end up. Again, like I kept saying throughout you guys' entire reading, just looking at your tarot cards, you guys are risk takers. And what happens when you're a risk taker? You are moving into uncharted, unknown territory. You don't know where it's going to end up, but you guys are willing to take the risk. I feel like these cards are just sort of saying what you guys are already doing or have been thinking about doing. I don't really feel like these cards are telling you guys anything that you haven't been thinking about or you haven't done or aren't about to do. I feel like you guys' mind is already sort of made up, or this eclipse season, the paradigm shift that's about to open up for you guys is you stepping into this presence, you guys stepping into this presence of yours that is willing to gamble and take a risk with your future. You're definitely about to be led somewhere where Everything is at your fingertips. Let's see what astrological cards come out for you guys, what astrological influences we have here with this paradigm shift. Also, with time to move on for some of you, this could be a message that it's time for you to move on from, especially if you want to go into business for yourself, it could be time for you guys to move on from your work, your career, your job. Again, this is about you guys taking a risk and moving on from some place where you kind of know everything is set up, or it's your comfort zone, it's your safe space. It's time for you guys to kind of break out of that and move on. So we have here, wow, 12th house escape. Yeah, you guys are definitely, and then North Node, life's purpose. Were you the pile where I was talking about your North Node? Yes, you were. Interesting. I was talking about your North Node and your South Node. Yes, you were that pile. Okay, so this is very, very to the point with North Node, life's purpose, and 12th house escape. It's you guys' purpose to escape. Wherever it is that you come from, wherever it is that you were born into, wherever it is that you have been, it is time to move on. Okay, so basically you guys are the pile whose like soul is working, is moving through an incarnate journey where you are born is not where you are going to end up. Where you start is not where you're going to finish at all. That is going to look like night and day. So wherever it is you guys started out, like let's just say, for example, just an example, that you guys, childhood, there was a lot of struggle financially. That is not where you guys are going to end up. Where you guys end up is going to be the polar opposite of that. It may even be like shocking in a sense. When you tell people and reflect on where you've come from, it may be shocking in a sense where, like it says, flow with the river and see where it takes you. It's about to take you guys somewhere you've never been. Like I was talking about with you guys' North Node, that is uncharted territory, somewhere you've never been. This is like you guys leaving your hometown and going to a country you've never been to. South Node is where we come from. North Node is where we're going. We don't know how to do the North Node. Everything about it is new. Everything about it is like, okay, I'm taking this in for the first time. You know, so it's like taking a road trip and seeing all these brand new sites and seeing these brand new spaces and places. So you're just taking everything in. You guys' life is about to feel like a damn road trip. Okay, like to put it lightly. So yeah, I think that's very, very easy to say. With 12th house escape, 12th house talks about hidden things that we end up discovering. This partial lunar eclipse is happening September 17th in the sign of Pisces. Pisces rules the 12th house traditionally or naturally. And with the 12th house, we're dealing with things that are, the 12th house can deal with things that are dark, very dark. But it deals with things that are hidden that eventually come to light, right? So that's why the 12th house deals with things like hidden enemies, hidden problems, hidden illnesses, things like that. So with the 12th house, you guys are about to, I feel as though for 12th house and North Node to come out, some of you guys, you were born with your North Node in the 12th house. And so if that's the case, I mean, I'd have to see your entire chart to see how everything's aspecting each other. But if we're just looking at North Node in the 12th house, this can be somebody that comes into this life and their purpose, they come into this life afraid of their purpose, afraid of embracing their purpose, afraid of taking it on. It can feel like a ghost that's haunting them, what it is that they're supposed to do. And the North Node is already hard enough to pursue. But North Node in the 12th house, North Node, it's a very heavy place. It feels like walking up hills. I've always described it. It feels like walking uphill. South Node feels like rolling down a hill. So with you guys, 12th house here, escape. Yeah, you guys may be fleshing out a lot of 12th house energies. 12th house is also a place of healing. And this is why things are discovered in the 12th house, so we can actually deal with them, confront them, acknowledge them. And then once you acknowledge something, you have power over it. You can heal it at that point. It's like naming your demons. Okay. Let's see what other... I was like, why can I not get a card for you guys? Okay, so we also have here Bergamot expansion, trigger statement. I am not enough. True statement. I love myself. Your tender heart is in need of care. Know that your body is here to help you experience a miraculous life. Embrace it. You guys are here to experience a miraculous life. that's just what you guys are here to do. I'm also show you guys these other two cards, but they flipped out face down. So I'm going to put them back in the deck. But we have here encouraging, motivation, trigger statement. I don't know where to start. True statement. I take action now. A lot of you guys don't know where to start because of that North Node influence. I don't know anything about the North Node. I don't know how to do it. But again, you guys are still taking action because you guys are up for the challenge. You're willing to take the gamble and the risk. It says you will find clarity and the ability to create coming up again. This is 3 times now. It's come up. You will find the clarity and the ability to create now. This is your time to make things happen. It says this is your time to make things happen, just like time to move on. You guys, this eclipse season is marking a time where you guys you're meant to make things happen now. And then the other 2 cards that we have here, cilantro, letting go, trigger statement. This is not the way it's supposed to be. True statement. I am free. Lift up your burdens and allow the divine to free you from them. Allow yourself to be cleansed of anything that is weighing you down. And then we have here wild orange, good fortune. Trigger statement. What is the point? True statement. I attract abundance. Feel the joy that you would have once you have reached your goals here and now. You will achieve your dreams fastest that way. Okay. And then just a final card for you guys, a final message here. Oh, this is 2 cards. So let me keep shuffling. Okay, so we have this rune came out for you. And this rune is underneath the deck. Okay, and you pronounce this rune as Hagalaz, I believe. And it says, hail turns to water and a seed is planted. Symbolism is the void, surrender, transformation, and rebirth. And it says, as the initial rune of the second Ayat, I think, Hagalaz delivers a profound shock to our being. Its essence can be translated to hailstone, and when we sit with the nature of hail, we find it is rarely a welcome sight. Hail can be unpredictable. It can come down in small pieces for 10 seconds, and other times it can be golf ball sized pieces of ice falling from the sky. Hail is quite confrontational, as is Hagalaz. We encounter Hagalaz when we confront the depths of our inner void. It is during those ventures into uncharted territories within ourselves that we experience darkness and uncertainty. However, we must also acknowledge that it is through this darkness that the seeds of creation are sown. Hagalaz is often likened to a seed. Within the heart of the hailstone, as it melts away, resides the potential for new beginnings, a seed waiting to sprout. Yeah, so this is new beginnings trying to sprout for you guys. It says, just like it says, time to move on. By embracing the process of falling and melting associated with this rune, we open ourselves to the blessings of this planted seed and coming possibilities of renewal. Most of us have experienced this in our internal world. Everything may be feeling fine, and then one day we encounter a trigger that takes us by surprise. We may feel so distracted and activated that we struggle to continue forward as our immediate attention is going toward this disruption. And as we continue to work through it, we find new ways of being with it and with ourselves. It often softens, and we find that we have possibilities that we didn't know we had before. That being said, this place can feel dark and unexplored. It often presents us with new territory. This is a space of the unconscious and the unseen. Sounds a lot like your 12th house. 12th house can also deal with the unconscious. And like I said, 12th house rules the things that are hidden that we end up realizing or becoming aware of and discovering. And it says the key with Hagalaz is surrendering to the uncomfortable and trusting the mysterious forces present in your life. And you guys, this is all that I'm seeing for you, Pile 3. Thank you so very much for tuning in. Let me take this time to thank your guides, my guides, our higher self, and amazing spirit for these messages. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye. Pile 4, welcome to your reading. So we're starting off with your tarot cards here to check out what paradigm shifts you guys are going to be experiencing around this eclipse or after. And then I'll be pulling some oracle cards to get some additional messages about what you guys can expect. So starting off with your tarot cards here, we have Keeper in reverse, which is actually the Hierophant in this deck. Then we have the Healer. Try to cover her up, which is the Temperance card. And then we have the King of Swords in reverse. All right, so starting off with Healer here, there is a major shift coming to your healing journey, Pile 4. This might be unconventional healing with the Hierophant and King of Swords in reverse, but it works nonetheless with Healer upright. So listen to your intuition, Pile 4, when it comes to your healing journey or your journey to healthier living. Do not ignore the advice of your medical professionals, obviously, but also stop ignoring your own intuitive senses, because you are very intuitive. And I would even take that message outside of a health journey that some of you guys may be on. There could be people that are, maybe you consider them way more educated in your life or way more experienced, but don't value their opinion more than your own. Okay. You know more than you give yourself credit for. And you are more insightful and intuitive than you probably give yourself credit for, pile 4. And I would say you're just as intuitive as you guys are intellectual. But somewhere you guys may keep like denying your intuition or your spiritual abilities in this shift or lunar eclipse, as well as the solar eclipse coming up on October 2nd. The lunar eclipse, partial lunar eclipse, will be happening September 17th. And that'll be in the sign of Pisces, and the solar eclipse will be happening October 2nd in the sign of Libra. But this eclipse season is trying to help bring you closer to accepting these gifts that you guys have, because you may have cut off your third eye or your spiritual gifts at some point, maybe when you were a child or younger, but at some point you stopped tapping in. You may have preferred to live without them. Maybe life just got busy for you. Maybe you got caught up in other things and just couldn't invest as much time or spend as much time with yourself, your higher self, your spiritual team, spirit itself, the universe, whatever it is that you call it or consider it or label it. You know, the way that I personally see it anyways, like our spiritual senses, our third eye, it's just like a muscle. And it needs to be exercised. It needs to be worked in order to stay strong. And it's like a language that we have to learn, as I've always described it. You know, we have to become fluent in our own intuitive language, even though it's our own language. But we forget a lot of the time. We get so conditioned by society. We get so distracted by our own personal lives and things happening in it that we can very easily forget our own intuitive language. But every time we hear it, it resonates very deeply within our spirit, where it's like, hey, I remember that, or I know that, or I feel that. And, you know, once we kind of get back into incorporating more of our spiritual awareness in our life, then that language starts to come back very easily and very quickly. But I think you guys, you may have at some point cut your spiritual gifts off, or maybe you tried to or just got busy. And so there's also a shift here in not trying to be normal or to fit in. You guys are different, pile 4, and we're all unique, yada, 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 right? That's obvious. But it's how we cope with what makes us rare that distinguishes us. Some people are at home in their own skin to the point that they might not realize how different they are, or they might not care how different they are. You, on the other hand, are someone who is probably, I would guess, never felt normal. You always felt like you stood out like a sore thumb, and you learned to hide or suppress it with temperance and hierophant in reverse. Temperance's root word is temper, which means to neutralize or counterbalance, and it's your only upright card. So many of you have spent a good chunk of your life trying to lessen the parts of you that aren't so easy for everyone else to digest, because not everyone's palate is as refined as temperance. This card is ruled by Sagittarius. Temperance, Sagittarius energy is like drinking a fine wine, a high quality wine that's been stored for years. And this sign, Sagittarius, is very elusive. You cannot tie down mutable fire Sagittarius. And then to make matters crazier, it's ruled by the largest planet in our solar system, which is Jupiter. Temperance is the card that defies nature and all things normal. So you were never meant to be everyone's cup of tea, and this shift will help you either realize that or revel in it. Nothing about you is traditional at the core. And for those of you in this pile interested, there's a counterpart coming into your life. I just saw two roads meeting, and that is Spirit's way of saying two souls or individuals will be coming into one another's lives. And you'll know this person is your other half because they won't try to temper you or dim your light. In fact, they will love watching you stand out. You guys will be polar opposites, but that's what's going to make you fit together so beautifully. And they will think very differently from you and communicate differently with this King of Swords in reverse over here. But again, this is someone who is going to love watching you in your element. They will feel honored that you come out of your shell around them. and they'll encourage you to keep breaking out of your shell. And this feels romantic, but it could just be because you guys are so ironically compatible. But this could be like a best friend coming into your life, or a business partner, or some other connection. And again, they won't suffocate your life or compete with you, or be at all intimidated by your gifts and abilities and your natural ability to stand out. And if you have a hard time being seen, you enjoy hiding. Oh yeah, we talked about that a little bit earlier, but Spirit is saying it is a past life behavior. If you believe in past lives, if not, then this is a South Node learned behavior. South Node in astrology is where the moon's orbit, it dips below the Earth's orbit. So this is when the moon's path descends. And this place represents karma or karmic cycles that we inherited or come from and are meant to break in this cycle or a lifetime. So if you don't believe in past lives, and this is just a trait that you learned as a child somewhere, your problem with being seen is where you will experience the biggest shift. You were born to inherit the gifts that you did. They were gifted or given to you by a higher power for a purpose. And that purpose will at some point require you to fully step into your own essence, because you haven't fully done that just yet. Your comfort zone is not in being seen. You've told yourself for so long, you're just like everyone else. And none of us are the same. Each of us is different and created different. It's about who's willing to be vulnerable enough to let those differences be known and be worn. And so this shift in you is this child healing, where you allow yourself to step out of this personality that you have crafted to hide behind with Hierophant and reverse. Some of you are also meant to roam right now, and this is why you haven't settled down or found the one. For those of you wondering, it's because they can't find you if you're hiding. And if you find them before you are able to fully step out of this shadow, you'll never leave it. This shift is coming when you are ready to step out, pile 4. The universe and spirit is being extra gentle with you. They will not force you out of this space, but they are allowing you to set the pace in terms of how much of your purpose you take on. When you are ready, the shift is going to happen pretty quickly, but you're also here to break traditions and molds. And you guys may see a really big shift in that happen after this eclipse. Maybe some of you guys are parents, maybe you have your own family, but you guys have been consciously doing things differently in your own life. And you're going to see that play out or have some sort of like visible impact, maybe around this eclipse season or just after it, with this Hierophant in reverse over here and Temperance card. You guys are going to see how that has actually healed yourself or maybe other people in your life. You're going to actually get evidence of like, wow, the way that I've been intentionally moving differently than what I'm used to or what I've seen or what I've been exposed to. You guys are going to see that it has, there's going to be some sort of evidence where it's like, oh wow, like this has actually had an impact on someone in my life, or it's actually had an impact on me. And you guys are actually going to see that around this eclipse or just after this eclipse. But it may be like a full circle moment for you guys where you actually feel healed, you feel whole, you feel proud that you broke some sort of a cycle in your own life, or maybe some sort of cycle, maybe some sort of a pattern, because it's usually what eclipses deal with. They deal with a lot of karmic energy and cycles in our life because they are directly tied into that North and South node, which has everything to do with karmic energy. Let's start grabbing some oracle cards for you, see what else comes up. There could be somebody else in your life as well, pile 4, that has been healing, or that you will find maybe is healed in some way around this eclipse as well. Then we have here, let it out, let it flow. Open up the heart to feel. So this is you guys being vulnerable, allowing yourselves to open up to kind of wear your heart on your sleeve. And then we have here underneath the deck, remember, love is the key. Love what you have in your life right now. So what is it that you have in your life right now that maybe you're not paying that much attention to, or maybe you're not as grateful for, or maybe you could show some more gratitude for, you could show some more appreciation for, you could show more attention to. This remember, love is the key card right here. So this could be you guys as higher self or your spiritual team saying, hey, let's show a little bit more appreciation, a little more gratitude to something in your life. That's something that's in your life right now. And it could be like I was talking about earlier when we were just looking at you guys' tarot cards. Some of you guys, you cut off your spiritual gifts at some point possibly, or you tried to suppress them. You try to kind of cut them off. And this card could be like your spiritual team's way of reminding you to appreciate these spiritual gifts because they're special and they're important and they serve a divine purpose in your life. And with let it out and let it flow, this card could also be talking about for those of you that maybe feel as though you've closed up emotionally or closed up your heart somewhere. Maybe you don't feel like you're emotionally available right now. This is about you guys like opening up that part of you to connect in a deep way or connect in an intimate way, or, being able to let somebody in. And I did say some of you guys, you could be meeting, there's a divine counterpart coming in for someone here for this pile here. So this could be you guys, like your spiritual team telling you to open your heart up so you can feel, in order to allow this connection to bloom and to blossom in your life. Because if you're closed up, it's not going to happen. As well as too, with this let it out card right here. This is also confirmation for you, for those of you that don't like to be seen. It's time for you to sort of radiate and to stand out and to allow yourself to come out of your shell. Because you may, like it says, love what you have in your life right now. This is about also you guys like loving you and loving what makes you different, loving what makes you unique, whatever that may be. Okay, you guys may have learned to not like the things that make you unique because it makes you stand out. And somewhere along your path, you may have learned to fear standing out or fear attention in some way or not like it. But you guys are moving into a season where you're not going to be able to hide, or you're not supposed to hide, or something about this new season is about you guys standing out in a way, or, radiating in a way that you haven't done before, or you've been too afraid to do. Let's see what astrological influences. Okay. So we have here solar eclipse revolution. So the solar eclipse is going to be a big deal for you guys. This is where you're going to see a lot of the shifts, these paradigm shifts happen for you. Again, the solar eclipse is happening October 2nd in the sign of Libra. And then we also have Grand Cross Provoker. Again, you guys feel provoked, maybe even agitated when you stand out, when you get attention. And for Provoker to be here in solar eclipse revolution, the solar eclipse is going to provoke something in you guys. I haven't spent that much time looking into the solar eclipse chart just yet. I will be over the next couple of weeks because we're going to be deep diving into it over on Patreon like we did with this partial lunar eclipse. But for you guys with this solar eclipse, that is going to be a time where you're feeling provoked. You're feeling like something is trying to push you out of your shell or get you to come out before you're ready. And what I picked up with your tarot cards is that the universe is going to be very gentle with you. So I wouldn't say that this is necessarily your spiritual team trying to provoke you in any way. This could be that divine counterpart that comes in. This could be somebody brand new that you meet, or it could be somebody in your life that is already in your life as a divine counterpart that's trying to encourage you to step out of your shell. They're trying to push you to come out. Maybe this is the way that the chips sort of fall, and it's like you have to maybe put yourself out there in some way, shape or form. Maybe you have to step out of wherever it is that you've kind of been nesting or hiding in. Maybe it's time for you guys to emerge. And two, I think I talked about a healing journey with you guys. If you were the power, I talked about a healing. Yeah, we got temperance right here. Okay. So, okay. I think I know what this is saying. For those of you that have been on a healing journey, when we're healing, right? Especially like a spiritually healing journey. I mean, honestly, any type of healing journey. When you're healing, you're in a restorative phase, right? So it's kind of like when you're getting over a cold, what do? You're not out at amusement parks. You're not out at clubs. You're not out like doing things that could irritate your nervous system, right? Normally we're at home. The only place that we might end up is at work if we have to be at work. But most of the time when we're trying to like get over a cold or the flu, for example, we're at home resting, maybe eating soups or drinking teas. We're working on getting better. And in order to get better, we need rest and we need time alone or to be isolated. And for those of you that have been on a spiritually healing journey, that's what your spirit has been doing. It's been doing the same thing that the physical body requires when we're healing and trying to restore. Your spirit has been healing and trying to restore it, which is why a lot of you guys have been hiding, as well as that message came through that is a past life behavior for you guys. So your soul has been in deep healing, not just this incarnation, but even the previous one, if you subscribe to the idea of past lives. If not, then this, you can just take it as this is something you've been doing since early in life. You learned it somehow, or it just felt natural for you to sort of hide away or not draw too much attention to yourself. So this is because your spirit has needed that time and distance and space to restore and to nurture itself almost back to health, or back to a place where, okay, I can be exposed to all these other influences and vibrations and frequencies and energies that is out here in the collective. So this is why you guys may feel provoked around the time, especially of the solar eclipse, for the solar eclipse to come out, because it's almost like your spirit or your soul is saying, okay, we're feeling well enough to step back out, to be seen again. And that may feel provocative for you. It may feel like, no, we shouldn't do that. It may be something that you're naturally resistant towards because you've always sort of done that. Anytime that you've started to get some attention, maybe you sort of back away from it, or maybe you retreat a little bit because it feels so unnatural or it feels so foreign and different to you. But something about this solar eclipse is going to provoke you guys out of that shell or out of that space. And you're going to realize then that, like, okay, being seen isn't that bad. Am I uncomfortable? Yeah. But it's not necessarily that bad, because that's what a grand cross is. Grand cross is a very rare aspect in astrology. It's the exact opposite of a grand trine. And a grand cross is like a huge square in an astrological chart. And when we're dealing with squares, we're dealing with tension. We're dealing with energy that's building up to a climax before things erupt. And so that is what's happening with the grand cross. It's causing this is energy moving at really sharp angles. And so when energy is moving at a sharp angle like that, it keeps getting disrupted. It keeps having to pivot at these really sharp turns. At the moment that it starts to get its groove, boom, it has to pivot again at this really sharp turn. And so because of that, this can cause agitation, frustration. It can make us feel provoked. And so you guys may feel energetically sensitive around this solar eclipse. Some of you guys, maybe you are actual Libra suns, to feel this provoked around that time. But again, it's going to be for you guys, it's going to be to pull you out of that shell, because that is where the biggest shift is happening. Is like, you guys, like your solar energy is getting completely renewed. And solar energy is all about the ego. It's all about personality. It's all about how we are seen, how we project ourselves into the world. Let's see what other cards we get for you. We also have here wintergreen trust trigger statement. What if something happens? That is what you guys, some of you guys, for those of you worried about being seen in this pile, that's what you guys are worried about. What if something happens? I'm drawing attention to myself. Now I'm increasing my chances of something happening. True statement. I take my hands off the wheel. You are not alone. The universe is working with you. Relax and enjoy the adventure. This is going to be an adventure for you guys. Trust in where you stepping out of your shell is going to take you, and trust in what's going to unfold from that. And then we also have underneath the deck oregano, resonance, trigger statement. I am right. True statement. I am open to the unknown. You guys may have been drawn to I don't even remember that pile, but I was talking about uncharted territory. I'm not sure which pile that was. If you were drawn to that pile, you're going to know which one I'm talking about. But it says here, you are being shown what is dissonant in your life. Allow the beliefs that are not serving you to fall away and be open to your bright future. There's these beliefs here. Like I kept saying, we were just looking at you guys as tarot cards here. You guys learned something at a young age, or this is a past life behavior that is repetitive, is being repeated in this life. And for you guys, it's like there's some beliefs here. They're not serving you anymore, but somewhere you guys took on the belief that I don't need to be seen. I need to hide away. I need to not draw attention to myself. And that belief is not serving you anymore. You guys are done healing. So it's confirmation of that message as well, that your soul, your spirit is done healing to that degree where now you guys are, your spirit is ready at least to step out and pursue its purpose, and walk its purpose, or do what it came here to do, or put itself out there, put yourself out there in a way where you're drawing attention so other people, other souls, other experiences can find you. And so, yeah, it says, allow the beliefs that are not serving you to fall away and be open to your bright future. There's a bright future beyond you guys' greatest fear of being seen, if that's a fear of yours. I don't want to speak it if it's not a fear of yours, but if that is something that you guys are worried about, there's a bright future just beyond that. A final message that we have for you. We have this rune here underneath the deck, and the rune that came out for you is this one. And this rune is pronounced Isa. I believe it says, in the stillness, we find strength and resilience. Symbolism is stillness, pause, winter, introspection. Yeah, you guys have been going through some soul healing right now. It says Norwegian rune poem, ice we call the broad bridge, the blind need to be led across. It says Isa symbolizes the power of the pause and turning inward. Yeah, this is what you guys' soul has been doing, this temperance energy right here, King of Swords in reverse. And it says it encourages us to take a break from the fast-paced nature of life and to find solace and introspection. This is exactly what we've been talking about with you guys' reading, that you guys you've been in a space where you need to be alone, and you need to restore. You need to focus on yourself and not drawing too much attention right now because you weren't ready, or you weren't pretty much equipped or prepared enough just yet. But it says by quieting our minds, we can listen to the voice within and gain clarity. Isa teaches us patience and self-discipline, reminding us that sometimes the best course of action is to wait and let things unfold naturally. Beyond patience, Isa serves as a mentor, imparting lessons through its stillness. Okay, so yeah. This is the universe, like I said, being very gentle with you guys and allowing you guys to gently emerge from your shell at the pace that feels appropriate and good for you guys. It says it guides us to let go of attachments that no longer serve us, similar to the melting of ice, revealing the vibrant life beneath. By embracing Isa, we discover our own resilience and inner strength, allowing us to navigate challenges with grace. Isa also encourages us to pay attention. In this stillness, we can see and sense more. So we need to be careful and also very attentive to what is happening around us. You guys are going to be really, really like extra sensitive around the solar eclipse. And this is also you guys' spiritual abilities coming out as well. It's not just you that's emerging from the shadow. It's also your spiritual abilities as well, emerging from this shell that maybe you guys kind of suppressed it. So it's not just you, it's also your spiritual gifts. There's a lot that's kind of breaking out of the shell around the solar eclipse. And it says here, Isa is a rune of ice and the winter months where the world slows and where we may be encountering more difficulty. Our ancient ancestors, this is totally that Grand Cross provoked. It says our ancient ancestors faced grueling winters and survived, but it required skill, preparation, and vigilance. Isa is a reminder that if we can embody that, we can make more progress than we anticipated when the ice melts. Isa is a rune of reflection, patience, and inner strength. It encourages us to find neutrality and stillness and attentiveness while we listen to the world around and within us. And there is no reversal for this rune. But Pile 4, this is all that I'm seeing for you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Let me take this time to thank your guides, my guides, our higher self, and amazing spirit for these messages. And I will catch you guys in the next one.